These teachers are coming in hot today, okay? They are exposing and calling out entitled parents, and they are having no problem doing it. Grab your beverage of choice, all right? We are cheersing today. This is just a plain glass of water. I know, I'm just as surprised as you are. Cheers, hope you're having a good day. One time, a boy who I'd never seen before came into my classroom and sat down. I asked if he was new or if the office told him to come here, but he said no. I was about to call the office when one of my students said, "Oh, that's my brother. He doesn't have school today, so he came with me." His parents had just dropped him off because they had to work. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you get like a 2-for-1 deal and you get to just slip in an extra kid with your other kid when they don't have school. You can't just give the school and the teacher a responsibility
that they did not agree to.
It was a creative and sneaky attempt though.
Maybe they won't even notice. And when they do, maybe they won't care.
Plot twist, they care. One student's parents took me to the superintendent and asked me to be fired because I didn't schedule their daughter to give a 45-minute motivational speech to the whole school. When they didn't succeed in getting me fired, they declared that her message was too big for this school. That's a really long speech. Let's actually think about that for a second. We're sitting in the seats. Imagine listening to a student go on for 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
How much knowledge and motivation as a child do you have to give me? I don't even have that now. A parent sent in a birthday treat and tore off the label showing the ingredients that clearly stated that there were peanuts in the cake. When confronted by me, she said that the kid who had a peanut allergy was probably just faking it and she wanted to prove it. And how are we gonna go about that? We're gonna hand him some peanuts so that you can watch him have this horrific allergic reaction? Is that what you want?
I'm a psycho.
Is that the evidence you need?
I'm a psycho.
It's common knowledge that you never send anything with peanuts to a school. Even places I've worked, when I used to bring a lunch, I would ask the room if there was a peanut allergy before eating my peanut butter. Consideration, it's a wonderful thing. I teach at an elementary school and was just returning from maternity leave. My times to pump were recess and during planning. A parent filed multiple complaints because she wanted to know why I was missing recess. My principal told her I was pumping during that time and would not be able to take the kids out. The mother demanded to know how much longer I was going to pump and suggested I find another time to do it,
Quotes.
if I absolutely had to pump at school. She continued to make comments about my baby's age and how they don't need breast milk once they start solids, and continued complaining to my principal about me pumping all year long. So basically, a parent wanted me to stop pumping during my breaks at school because her son didn't like the teacher on recess duty. You would think that because she is also a mom, she would be the most understanding in this situation, and maybe she didn't have to pump, and maybe she chose not to breastfeed for her own children, who knows?
From mom to mom, I understand.
No, Why does it matter what teacher is on recess? Like during recess, you're not hanging out with the teacher. Let's be honest, I'm not like hanging around by the teacher. I'm out in the field running wild. Oh no. Oh no. I'm an art teacher and I had a student who didn't show any interest in making Christmas gifts in class to take home. Somehow his parents found my unlisted home phone number, creepy, and called me the morning of Christmas Eve, insisting that I meet their kid at school immediately so I could help him make gifts for them. That's gonna be a hard no.
Absolutely not.
First of all, how'd you get my phone number? Inappropriate. 2, Christmas Eve, leave me alone. You're lucky I even picked up this phone call. And 3, maybe have a conversation with your kid of how important it is to participate in these class activities. I should move this. On the first day, a father came in, handed me his business card, and said that I was his employee now, and to treat him as if he were my employer. No, but you're not my employer. Hands you a business card to a different business that he works at and says that you're his employee. I would literally take that business card and shove it up I had a parent get very angry that their son got in a fight and that she had to miss work to come get him. She wanted the principal to pay her out of his own pocket the rest of her day's wages since she had to leave. I got a better idea. How about your son goes home, does some chores, earns some money, and then gives it back to you to cover the wages because it's actually his fault that you had to leave work, not the principal's.
Your kid could be wrong.
Imagine that. Some parents have such a hard time admitting that their kid is in the wrong. If I got in a fight at school and one of my parents had to come pick me up, they're not mad at anyone else but this girl right here. Responsible for my actions. We got hit with a blizzard last winter and I got an email from a parent asking me to come into school and teach her son one-on-one so she didn't have to deal with him at home for the day. I mean, listen, I understand. I'm sure there are parents out there that are like, man, some days you probably don't even want to deal with your own kids. I can only imagine what that's like. Some days I don't even want to deal with myself, let alone a kid. However, that's your kid. Sorry, but you're the parent. It's time to parent. A mom brought her son into class throwing up and weak from the flu. When I objected, she told me she couldn't get any work done with him at home and asked if he could just sleep in the corner on one of the beanbag chairs all day. Then she walked out. I brought the little boy to the nurse's office where he was checked and had a temperature of 102. The mom refused to come pick him up. Not only did I catch the worst flu I've ever had, all of the rest of my students got sick too. To top it off, the mom called the principal to complain about me for asking her to take him home. That's insane to me. There should be some kind of policy. You get fined for that because you should absolutely not expose anyone else to any type of sickness when your child is sick. A teacher, a daycare, other students, on a play date, you should never be exposing.
I'll lose germs.
Worst part is that she is working at home. So she could still be working all day and having him sleep on a beanbag at home. I'm a college professor and a student failed my class because he didn't turn in any of the assignments. That'll do it. His dad emailed me leading with,
I'm the VP of said company, and I demand you reconsider his grade.
I replied and explained that due to FERPA, I could not discuss his son's grade with him. He then emailed me to remind me he was
A VP.
and that
He could make my degree disappear.
this is what I don't get about certain parenting. Your child didn't do the assignment. Shouldn't we be punishing the child? Shouldn't we be having a conversation with our child about the importance of doing the work, doing the assignments, getting good grades, getting an education? No, we're just gonna forget that and instead force the teacher and threaten her to give him a good grade for work he never did. A parent put me as their emergency contact without asking, so I could keep their kid if they forgot to pick them up. Keep their kid? What do you mean?
Oh, here you go. You've now adopted them.
Okay, so if they forget to pick them up from school, you're forced to just stay there with them, basically. No thanks. I don't want to be anyone's emergency contact. I truly don't. My phone is on silent all the time, especially at night. It's never not on silent. If you call and I see it after, great. I get to choose if I call you back. I know it's terrible, you guys. You're probably like, what if there's an emergency? My phone's on silent. I'm not trying to be anyone's emergency contact. I'm really not. A teacher I worked with next door was dealing with a parent that wanted the school to pay to have a bounce house available daily solely for their son to use to get his energy out. Okay, or run around the block. Run around a tree in the backyard 10 times. Do you know how expensive bouncy houses are to even rent? They're wildly expensive and dangerous. Broken bones all the time. I've heard the stories, y'all, okay? But you could buy a bouncy house and put it up in your backyard so when your kid gets home, guess what they could do? Bounce and get their energy out. This mom asked if they could use my Zoom for her kids' virtual party since all the kids already knew how to log on. I said sure, thinking it would be right after class. About a week later, she sent me her idea for the invitation. It was on a Saturday and said I was hosting. I called and told her I couldn't do a weekend, suggested it be after class, and asked what it meant that I was hosting. She said that she wanted to invite her kids' friends from out of school and then asked me what games I was planning to play with the kids. No, I shut that down fast. No. You asked to just use the Zoom login where everyone could be on the same Zoom link. I'm not hosting your kid's birthday party, especially on a Saturday. You're not trying to do any of that on the weekend. That's your break. And some teachers have their own kids to deal with on the weekend. Well, these teachers did not hold back. And honestly, I'm here for it. I'm out of here though, you guys. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow.